Hello, how are you? It's story time with Mrs. Barker. I'm going to read you a story called Blabber Mouse by True Kelly. Blabber Mouse liked to talk and talk. He talked about his friends like Eric and Jojo, Stephen, Lulu, George, Charlotte, Kate, and Joan, and his hobbies and his adventures. He just loved to tell stories. And what he saw. What did he see? Yep. And where he'd been and things he remembered. He told stories, he told jokes. He said, "Where do sheep get their hair cut?" And he said, "At the barber shop." What did the cat say when the mouse kicked him? Meow. He recited his poetry. The ship she sailed, and all aboard waved their tails goodbye. Their mummies and daddies stood on the shore, and all began to cry. It was dark upon the stormy sea. The wind turned waves to foam. Waves to foam. The little mice were very scared and wanted to go home. Here's his poem. But sometimes he also spread gossip. And worst of all, he told secrets. Other people's secrets, things his friends trusted him not to tell. Oh, that's not good. Gossip is not a good thing. Once at school, when Blabber was hungry, his friend Luke gave him a cheesy chip cookie from her secret supply. Blabber told Kate where the cookies were, and he told Charlotte, and he told Jojo. They each borrowed just one from Lulu's supply. They were not greedy. The next time Lulu went to get a cheesy chip cookie, they were all gone. Lulu guessed what had happened. "You owe me cookies, Blabber," she said. "Big time." "Why do you fall all over yourself when you walk by Lulu's desk?" Blabber asked Jojo one morning. "I have a secret crush on her," Jojo whispered. "I just get nervous around her." Blabber thought that was sweet. Jojo likes Lulu. He told Lulu. Lulu was so embarrassed. She hid behind her tail every time Jojo stumbled by. Another time, Blabber's friend Charlotte told him that her 28 cousins were coming to stay for a week. "Last night, my mom was a nervous wreck running around the house," she said. "Charlotte's mom wrecked their house last night," Blabber told his friends. Of course, it turned out she hadn't wrecked anything at all. Blabber's friends realized he was only blabbing again. "He can't help it," they said. "He just can't keep his big mouth shut." And Blabber couldn't. He just couldn't keep his mouth shut. One day at school, George whispered to Blabber, "Mrs. Numbley has a tiny tattoo by her armpit, but I can't tell what it is." Of course, Blabber just had to tell somebody, so he told everybody. Mrs. Numbley thought it was odd that the class suddenly paid so much attention when she wrote on the board. Sometimes Blabber's blabbing gave away surprises, even his own. When it was his big sister's birthday, he found the perfect present for her, a Ratty Boys poster. He was so excited about it, he had to tell someone what it was. So he told his big sister. When she opened her present, she was no good at pretending. "What a surprise," she said. Then there was the time Blabber went with his friends Joan and George to see his favorite scary movie, Kitties at Play. He'd seen it 16 times. The movie opened with a very frightening scene. "Don't be scared," Blabber told them. "By the end, the kitties all become friends with the mice." "Blabber!" howled Joan and George. "You ruined the whole movie." Not long after that, Mrs. Dumley had a bad Friday. She got to school late wearing her dress inside out. She had recess duty in a sudden downpour. Then there were 5 fire drills before noon. She sat on her sandwich. After lunch, Jojo was sick in the wastebasket. There's Jojo in the wastebasket. By the end of the day, Mrs. Numley stood at the door looking particularly frazzled. Class dismissed, she said weakly. She forgot homework, George whispered to Blabber. Mrs. Numley, you forgot homework, Blabber called out before he could stop himself. Thanks for reminding me, said Mrs. Numley. That was the last straw. Blabber's friends knew they had to stop him before he blabbed again. But how? On Monday, when Blabber got to school, everyone was working busily in the art room. During recess, they worked busily in the school kitchen. Blabber couldn't figure out what was going on. He felt a little left out. After school, Blabber saw Charlotte and Mrs. Numley coming out of a store downtown. When they saw him, they acted sneaky and scurried off. The next day, George dragged a big, lumpy package to school and put it in the closet. When Blabber asked what it was, George said, If I were you, Blabber, I'd probably tell you. And Joan said, If I were you, I'd say we were giving you a cool cat battery operated guitar. Blabber was surprised. And Lulu said, If I were you, Blabber, I'd tell you that Joan has a crush on you. Now Blabber was embarrassed and confused. Later that afternoon, Mrs. Numley sent Blabber to the office to pick up some new chalk. When Blabber got back, everyone jumped up and yelled, Surprise! The room was decorated with colored paper and balloons. There were plates full of cheesy chip cookies and pitchers of berry juice. Everybody had on silly party hats, even Mrs. Numley. Blabber was very surprised. But why are they giving me a party? He wondered. It's not my birthday. Jojo handed Blabber some juice and cookies. Charlotte gave him a hat. Music came on, and everyone started crazy dancing. Blabber was too embarrassed to dance with Joan. He felt like hiding behind his tail. Suddenly, the music stopped. George put the big lumpy package in front of Blabber. Blabber knew what it would be. Sure enough, it was just what Joan had said, a cool cat battery operated guitar. What a nice surprise, Blabber said politely. Now you can put your poems to music, explained George. Your poems are our favorite kind of blabbing. Then Mrs. Numley handed Blabber a little present wrapped up and tied with a ribbon. This is another gift from the whole class, she said. No one had told Blabber anything about it. They had all kept their big mouths shut. Blabber thought that was amazing. Blabber tore off the wrapping. This present was a real surprise. Inside was a little book with a lock and key. On the cover was written, Blabber Mouse's Top Secret Diary. Now, when you know a secret, Mrs. Numley said, and you feel you just have to tell someone, you can write it down in your diary, lock it up, and keep the secret safe. For once, Blabber was speechless. Finally, he said, Thank you so much, everyone. I'm lucky to have friends like you. Let's dance, shouted George, and he turned on the music. But Blabber sat down quietly in a corner and unlocked his little book. Yes. Slowly, he wrote his first secret. He thought how much fun it would be to tell everyone, but instead he thought some more and wrote another secret. He closed his diary and locked it. Now both secrets were safe with Blabber. He tucked the diary into his backpack. Let's see what he wrote. To Blabber from all your friends and Mrs. Numley, it says. And then he wrote, Number 1. I saw Mrs. Numley's tattoo up close. It looks like this. And it was a heart. And it says, Born to Teach. He just told his diary about it. And then he asked Joan to dance. How fun was that? Sometimes you just have to tell someone, so they gave him a diary to tell his diary the secrets instead of telling other people's secret. Sometimes our friends tell us to keep secrets, but if they're good secrets, we keep them. If they're not very good secrets, we might tell our mom or our dad. But having secrets with your friends is sometimes fun if it's the good kind. Have a good rest of the day.